Hey guys, Peter from EJ Todd here. Today I want to talk to you about impoundment barra fishing and some of the new products we've got coming out to suit. Firstly, I want to start off with Lucky Craft Pointer 78 Extra Deeps. Now, I love jerkbaiting for barra, and there's a few reasons why. I think you've got to clearly get a good, accurate cast into where the fish are, and then realistically, it's not just a simple cast and wind retrieve. It's trying to figure out how to jerk that lure around to annoy a barra into eating it. So it's a bit of a game. A game I don't mind playing with the old barras. So a few new colours. We've got the 78 Extra Deep in the green perch. So very natural sort of colour there. Nice green coloration, pearl belly, orange underneath, and some nice stripes along there. Next colour is one called T-Rex, which has got a purple sort of top, yellowy sort of side with an interesting scale pattern. Interesting name, this one's called Cowboy Gill. Got a brown lure with some nice stripes on the side, a bit of white and chartreuse and orange underneath, so natural but yet quite bright underneath as well. Very popular one is the Ghost Sayari, so it's a see-through pink with silver sides and that reflective foil along the bottom there. Fully transparent, pretty cool looking colour, that one, the old pink Sayari. And the last one is my personal favourite. It's called Brown Wakasagi. So brown sort of purpley top. You got again that purple stripe and that silver foil on the bottom there as well, which shows a lot of different colours there. It's sort of kind of like the rainbow, basically, that coloration through that one. Now I run the pointers with a nylon leader, so 100-pound System Shock nylon. Basically, I don't use fluorocarbon, I use nylon. A couple of reasons. One, it's a softer material, allows the lure to swim a bit freer. Considering the action's coming from the front of the lure, not the back like a soft plastic, you need the front end to be as loose and limp as possible. So System Shock nylon is a very soft, limp material. I use 100-pound because that's kind of the diameter I like. It's not super thick, even though it says 100-pound, it's not super thick. So that's what I attach my braid to. So if I need to upgrade the trebles at all, I'll use a Fanfuke DT68Ss. But I will use the standard hooks because they're a BKK hook. Different colors and different lures will have different sort of sink rates or whatever. So I usually go to a size 2 in a Fanfuke split ring. So I bring the split rings down a little bit for fresh water just to get that perfect suspend. And all the Lucky Crafts pretty much are uniform and they sit nice and flat in the water, not nose forward or nose or tail back. They sit beautifully flat in the water. You get the right size hooks, the right size split rings, and that lure is just going to sit there motionlessly in that barra's face. So when you're pulling it down quite quickly, the very sharp bib will get it down fast, and then you start imparting your action on the lure, and these sit there nice and flat, beautiful in the water. Now here's a couple of different outfits. I've got a cheaper rod option in the Amp 3. So this is a 681MH, and I also use a 681H. So the H is probably, a bit more power for stopping those bigger barra reasonably quickly, not quickly, but reasonably quickly. And the MH is a bit light on the tip to cast that lure because these 78 Extra Deeps aren't overly heavy. So I basically pick a rod that's going to cast the lure quite well and deal with the power issues afterwards once you hook the fish. Now 6'8", a little bit shorter because I've been using a live scope pole. I like the full length butt on this particular model. Both for working the lure and for fighting the fish as well. It's just a personal preference. So 6'8", a little bit shorter, get out of the way of the scope pole and that sort of thing. So cheaper option, 681MH or H in a barra from the Amp 3. If you don't mind spending a few extra bucks, Dobbin Sierra 683C. Again, you could go the 4 power as well. A little bit stiffer in the tip. I like the 3 power because it really gets a little bit extra couple of meters on the cast, and that little bit of softer tip imparts a bit better action on that jerk bait. So again, solid cork butt and 6'8" in length, so a bit shorter work around that live scope pole and that sort of stuff. So that's the combos I like to use. I've got a bit of footage now of catching a few fish, various retrieves, so have a bit of a look at that. And Now, as much fun as it is jerkbaiting for Barra, I'd have to say the most fun is catching on top water. So this is the WTD 150, just been released. We had a couple of these a little while ago, I think last year and or year before February. We've got some back in again. These are an excellent lure. So 45 grams, really long casting. They've got a textured body. It's like a Dremel finish on the exterior of the lure, and a great scale pattern on this particular color. But they cast really well, have a little bit of line off the tip of the rod, punch it out. They generally cast sort of tail first, and completely silent, matched up with some really big strong hooks straight out of the box. So whether you're going PNG bass or big top water, I like to peg these out across the weed beds, mostly at Wonga and Mondrian as well. I have had some blobs at Mondrian. I haven't landed a fish yet, but had some blobs, and that lure will walk from side to side. This has got quite a wide action if you tap the rod and give it sort of a long pause between taps, and just constantly slowly wind the reel just to keep this lure moving basically the whole time. There is a smaller version as well, the 120. So the 120 is probably a little bit tighter action. The 150's got a bit of wider one. That's a beautiful, cool color. I think it's called Moon. So it's got a chartreuse top, bit easy to see. Beautiful silver face there, and wide along the bottom. There's a bunch of colors in both different ones. I'll show you some of those now, and yeah, check these out. So rigged again with pretty strong hooks, ready to go for barras. So check them out in stores now. So for throwing the top water, again, I'm using nylon leader, that 100 pound again. May as well use the same stuff. Little bit heavier rod because that 150 is a heavier lure. This is a 4 power. You can go to 5. I like to use a longer rod. This one's 7'2". The longer rod's going to give me a bigger long cast, cover more water. And the big tip for me is basically trying to drift with the wind and bring that lure against the wind. You're going to get a better action on the lure against the wind rather than riding the little waves on the water. Going against them, you're going to get a better action. So that's my little tip. And obviously with the wind, you're going to be just drifting along nice and quietly. Use your electric to cover ground. Big long cast, keep that lure walking from side to side. It's pretty cool fun, and here's a bit of action to get you excited about catching impoundment barra on top water. Alright, so there's a couple of new lures to get you excited about going chasing some impoundment barra. I get pretty excited this time of year. We're just going into November. I love getting out to both the dams and giving a crack. It doesn't matter if they're little 60 centimetre rats or metre plus jobbies on top water. They're all good fun. So get out there and give it a go. Alright, catch you next time.